Hello on the Rockers. This is Coffee Talk with all the bougies and the boogle wolves out there with reality TV star, entrepreneur, and kick-ass woman Danielle Cabral. With me, your favorite host with the sassy most. Raise a glass and let the drinks begin. It's On the Rocks, Stanton style.
Thank you for being
Boulevard.
Life is a banquet, and most poor suckers are starving to death.
I'd like to propose a toast.
This is On the Rocks with Alexander, where I drink with your favorite celebrities as we talk about fashion, entertainment, pop culture, reality TV, and, well, that's about it. So pop a cork, lean back, and raise a glass to On the Rocks.
Fasten your seatbelt. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Buttons and bows and pantyhose On the Rocks podcast, a place where we're too glam to give a damn. We're going to have some brawling going on with the Cabrales. That's what we're going to do. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at On the Rocks On Air, and on Facebook, On the Rocks Radio Show. Send me an email. Book me for a wedding, funeral, quinceañera, bris. I don't care. I will be there. Info at ontherocksradioshow.com. The show's presented by Straw Hut Media. You can watch and listen to our over 300 episodes at ontherocksradioshow.com. You can watch us on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, on the Outa.tv app, Facebook Watch, Streaming with Pride on SVTV, and on Channel 31 in Boston, of all places. Lucky Boston. Let's get the show on the road because we have a lot to talk about, and we're not going to waste any time. Danielle Cabral, the newest addition to the cast of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, born and raised in Staten Island, New York. While pursuing a career in acting and entertainment, she lived in Hollywood, California, a little known fact we're going to talk about, when she met her husband, the hottie Nathan. The rest is history as the two moved back to Stanton, then to New Jersey. No stranger to working in front of the camera, she appeared on MTV's True Life, I'm a Staten Island Girl. And in 2012, she and her husband filmed an 8-episode series on the DIY network where they completely remodeled their home. And if any marriage can last that they're in for some permanence here. She's always had an interest in production and creativity in TV and founded Relatable Productions to create projects she is passionate about. She's also an entrepreneur and runs a business called Bougie Mama and Bougie Kids. We're going to add to that. We're going to have Bougie Gays. It's going to be the next little spin for that. Where she's currently manufacturing her own line of clothing based in New Jersey. In addition to her many, many accomplishments, she aspires to write a book. That's going to be a page-turner, by the way, and probably like a Showtime miniseries, I'm guessing. Become a talk show host, which we know she can talk. She can definitely talk. And develop her own inspirational television projects and star in her own staged show. She hopes to inspire and speak to other women about following their dreams and becoming entrepreneurs. Please welcome Danielle Cabral.
Wow.
That's how we do.
Honestly, first of all, I wanted to make love to you 30 times just now, but I wanted you to continue. I have never in my life. I want to turn you straight to be with me. I love you.
A few drinks, you never know.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
That's one thing I have to say. Like, I think New Jersey Housewives, the show needs more gays.
Oh, I swear I should have been born like a gay man. Really, I should have been, because it's my people.
Well, and, you know, I see some of the guys on the show, and I'm like, but we're not going to say anything. Okay. I want to know what makes a Staten girl, and what is it that you've learned about life being a Staten girl that is unique to growing up anywhere else?
Okay. So when you're from Staten Island, you're just born with like the biggest pair of cojones in the world. You just don't take crap from anybody. And Staten Island has given me a backbone. It's just made me a strong, tough chick. So coming into a world like Housewives was very different from what I was used to. We didn't let anybody talk to us like that. So Staten Island really, it made me like tough and smart and witty and fast and just a hustler.
It's that wit and fast that I just absolutely love, because that's when, you know, people get separated in their box. It's like, okay, did you write that one-liner and rehearse it, right. Or is it like natural? It's just part of your pattern. This is who you are. And I think this is what we love and the fans love, is the sincerity that comes through off of the screen. You're not pretending.
No, never. I can't pretend, because that's when it becomes like not authentic and I look stupid. I can never pretend. It's me all the time.
Now, I don't know, what was it as a kid that inspired you? Was it a TV show you saw? Was it a music video or something that got you like, I want to be in entertainment?
I was 6 years old. My godparents took me to see The Phantom of the Opera. And I watched the play. And when we the play ended, we waited backstage for them to come out, the stars to come out. I've never seen that before in my life. The stars came out and people went crazy.
Yeah.
And at 6, I said, this is what I want to do the rest of my life. I don't know what it is, but this is what I want to do. And I've had the passion since a kid. Always wanted to do this.
I love that. Phantom has inspired so many people, and we know the show just ended on Broadway. What a milestone. Okay, you have shared, which thank you for sharing so much of your life, but you shared about your parents getting divorced when you were young. Now, we know that's a lot to get through. I want to know what kind of advice you have for somebody young that parents might be going through a divorce, and what got you through that time, especially being so young. Even though you're a tough person, that's still a pretty tough situation.
I was a kid. I was 8.
Yeah.
It had changed the trajectory of my life, I think, my parents' divorce. What we went through was very difficult. For a child, it's really hard to give advice. But for the parents of children, just know that they're watching and they see everything. And your actions can have such an impact on their future selves. One thing I learned from my parents' divorce is how to have a beautiful, healthy marriage with my husband. I am so proud of that because I'd never want to relive what my parents put me through. You know, it was very difficult. It was hard.
It is touching to see them be in the same room and cultivate the family together still.
Well, now, because once I had my children, I said, either you're going to get it together or you're not going to see the kids. Wow. And they pulled it together, and now they could be in the same room together. And it was not like that for a very long time. Mm-hmm. Very tough.
Well, that's special. So thank you for sharing that aspect. Something else you've shared about, you're talking about, being young and tough, going through this divorce, but you've also talked about being bullied as a kid too. And you had to learn how to stick up for yourself.
Right.
Can you share a little bit about that bullying experience? We know LGBTQ community has a lot of experience being bullied. Can you share a little bit what you were being bullied for and again, how you got through that?
I think a lot of it has to do with being in high school. The chicks in high school are tough.
It's an awkward time for anybody in high school. Even the most beautiful, quote-unquote, beautiful person, it's a tough time.
Oh, you see it all the time.
Yeah.
The beautiful cheerleader, gorgeous, has everything going from his so hurting inside. And it's so sad. And I think it stems from the parents and the household and what they're going through at home. Because my children, I tell them all the time, I'd rather you fail school than hurt somebody's feeling. I'll kill them. I think it had to do with me being an athlete, and I was always with the boys, and I was a tough chick. And I think just girls, I also didn't have a big girl group. I had my solid girlfriends, but I didn't have that. I was a theater kid. Yeah. We're all weird theater kids.
Tell me about it. Yeah. Some of us didn't stop being weird.
I know. Well, I'm with you. I'm the same. I'm weird to this day. But, I think that it was high school stuff, really. It helped shape how I am as a person today because I just give good. I do good. I show kindness. My children will learn that. So it helped make me the person that I am.
And where are those kids today, by the way? They're probably watching
your show. They're watching your podcast right now. Cheers to them. Thank you.
Cheers to you, bullies.
Cheers to you.
Enjoy Walmart. Okay.
I love Walmart, though.
No, I do, too.
I love Walmart. Wow, what's the matter?
Well, no, I love Walmart, too. And then they make the employees wear the khaki pants. Anybody in khaki. It could be Estelle Getty in khaki. I'm like, hey, Mama. But, the khaki pants do it for me.
Well, do they?
Because they lift and they separate, and they're like, here's what's happening. Okay. Little known fact, go to Walmart and clap for the khakis.
Get khakis. Okay.
Get khakis.
As my husband would say, khakis.
Khakis. That could be your campaign. Clap for the khakis.
Clap for the blinged out khakis.
For the bougie gays.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Write it down.
I would die. I would die.
Andy Cohen's writing this down real fast. He's like, we got to get the license on that. But what inspired you? No, it's one thing to have dreams of getting into entertainment, but to leave everything that you know, your hometown, your environment, and your family, and then to move. Talk about weirdos. Talk about moving to Hollywood. What gave you the cojones to move to Hollywood?
First of all, I've never met more people like me in my life. And I was living with a bunch of gay men around me, okay? It was my home. So I did a show for MTV back in the day, True Life. I'm a Staten Island girl.
Yeah.
And I got a phone call. I was working in a pizzeria. I got a phone call from a gentleman, my angel. His name's Dan Jabara. He's no longer with us, so he wasn't able to actually see where my career went. But this is 2007, 2008. He calls me. He's like, hey, I'm a producer out in L.A., and I want to bring you out to L.A. I want you to be like a fish out of water. I want to put a camera crew on you and see you go into the store and buy cigarettes and here and there. because the world met Staten Island for the first time through my show. And I was like, okay. So I told my parents, I'm going out to California. I'm just going to see what happens. I came out by myself to check it out, met Dan Jabara. I was like, this is it. I'm coming. So I worked the whole summer. I was working at a poker club, an underground poker club, where I would get paid to go walk 2 feet to the fridge to get a soda for these guys.
This is insane. This is all going into your show.
Book. Oh, it's happening. I'm going to do a Broadway musical on this. I see it already happening.
I'll be in the chorus. I'll pop out like, do it.
Yes. So I saved up money at the pizzeria and at the underground poker club, and I came out to California. I rented an apartment in West Hollywood. I couldn't afford a car. So
West Hollywood was a place that you could afford at that time.
Yeah,
Not
but it was
anymore.
also expensive. It was $1,500 back in 2008. You know, I was a 22-year-old kid.
Yeah.
I didn't have money for a car, so I rode a purple bicycle around Hollywood into the auditions, and I was working in Beverly Hills. I worked at Saddle Ranch. I worked at Umami Burger. I almost hit Marissa Tomei with my bicycle. That was the day my mom's like, you should get a car. You might kill yourself. But I hustled, man. I came out here and I did what
I think this is the energy that we see on the show and that we love so much. You know, a lot of people come to Hollywood saying, I want to be an actor, I want to do this, but they're not willing to do the hustle. They're not willing to ride a purple bicycle wherever they need it to do. Like, you either have it in you to work that hard and succeed, or you just don't.
Right, 100%. And unfortunately out here, what happens is you come out here with that energy, and then you get stuck in, oh my God, I have to survive, I have to eat. I got to work at a restaurant 5 days a week, and then you're not auditioning, and it's just, you get wrapped in the world.
It's like Catch-22. Yeah.
I was also on that show, and I was on a show, Catch-21. I've never seen it. It's with Alfonso Ribeiro. Oh, God, it was the worst. Oh, my God, anyway, it's a game show I did many years ago.
Do you remember one of the worst auditions you had in Hollywood during those years that you were like, oh, my God, that was such a bad audition?
I do.
I want to hear.
It was for a major show.
Spill the tea, girl. Have some more drinks.
No, I know. I mean, listen, I've talked about it before. It was for Jersey Shore.
Oh my!
It was. I lived down the block from Durano Fear Casting. That's what he was doing at the time, and they was just casting for season 2.
He's huge. He's huge in this community, by the way. He's responsible for a lot of great shows.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah. So I did that audition, and at the time the show was massive. Yeah. And it was all the way up to me and Dina. That was the last day. It was the major. I mean, we had security guards outside the hotel.
Wow.
It was insane. I've never experienced something like that in my life. And coming out here to Cali trying to make it, and I'm like, oh my God, this is it. It's happening. And I went in there, and it was the worst audition of my life because I was somebody that they wanted me to be. Mm-hmm. I was somebody that I thought they wanted to see on the show. And something traumatic happened to me that day that I will never forget, which also changed where my life went. And I said, what am I doing? At the time, I met my husband, who's my boyfriend at the time. And I said, I want to go and have a normal life. I could stay here in this town and deal with people and things and situations like this, or I can go and get married and have children and live a beautiful life. And if it happens, it happens. And it's funny how things work out, right? Because I would have went on that show, and I'm friends with them. They're amazing people, great businesses. They did good for themselves. But I think a platform like that, and now look at my life. I'm married, I have a beautiful husband and children. I'm on the Housewives, which is a totally different type of show. It could showcase myself as a really serious businesswoman, and with class and success, and it's just crazy how life takes you certain places.
It's a whole different presentation. Like, I love Jersey Shore, of course.
I do too. Who doesn't?
Right. But now you're in a place where you inspire women, you inspire younger generations to do the damn thing.
Right.
Which is a little different energy than
it's totally different. They're all doing their thing. They have their businesses. Nicole, Jenny, they're great. It's just two different platforms. Yeah. And it's happening for me later on in my life if it would have happened when I was 21, 22, I would have never married my husband. I mean, I would have hooked up with Paulie D and screwed everything up for me. But I don't like Paulie D romantically anymore.
I used to have the biggest crush on him.
I love him, though.
Over all the other guys. But lately, he's... I'm not so sure.
No, I still love him. That will happen one day. I'm manifesting that. I thought it was going to happen on the Ellen
You're going to
show.
hook up with Pauly?
No.
You heard it here first. A threesome.
No. Oh my God. No. Negative.
Nathan would be like, what?
My husband is God's gift to the world. Okay. I just think Paulie's a cool dude from Massachusetts, and
Yeah.
I don't know, fan
He
of his
seems
music.
fun. Yeah,
It's fun.
yeah. Okay, so let's talk about Nathan. You met in Vegas.
We met in Vegas.
You were working.
Studio 54 at 3 a.m.
God, I remember that club. It was the multi-levels, and then like every hour was a different decade, and they had the girls come down in the swings.
That's every club in Vegas, but okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Was it love at first sight? What was the situation?
The minute I saw him, I fell in love. And this is how I describe it. So I don't know who you had on your wall growing up, but I had Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes.
Okay. Devin Sawa. I had these guys.
Leo, for sure.
Leo, right? And then you fantasize about a life with these guys. Like, oh, he'd be the best husband, the best
My fantasy
everything.
was 10 minutes long, but okay.
Yeah, well, I imagine being like his wife or whatever. And when I saw Nate, I was like, oh my God, because I never dated pretty guys before. I always dated like
very
the
pretty.
thug-looking guys from New York, sweatpants, backwards Yankee fitted hat. That was my type.
Yeah.
And here comes this gorgeous. He was a boy at the time, and it was for me love at first sight, 100%. And we hit it off talking. I was talking to his friend.
Oh, look at you guys. Oh.
Yeah, that was actually we were in New York. I was doing a countdown for MTV, and he came out to. So we were doing long distance for 8 months.
Yeah.
And we happened to see each other once a month. I don't know how it happened. He came to Cali. I was in New York, and it was just I can't explain it.
But explain more of the meeting, because we've all met people in Vegas, and it's like, oh, that was a fun night or fun hour or whatever. So how did that meeting kind of manifest itself? Because now we're here 10 years later.
I know. All right, so I was on the West Coast at the time, and when I could spot an East Coast guy from a mile away. Okay, so I was in the club, and him and his friends were all from Boston. They were lined up like a smorgasbord of East Coast deliciousness. And I saw Nate, and I told my girlfriend, because I had moved out to Cali with the most toxic man on the face of the earth, who I had just broken up with. I said, you got to go talk to that one. He's hot. Go talk to him. So my girlfriend was talking to him, and I was talking to his friend. And I played ball in college. He played basketball. So he was listening to me. I was listening to him. And then I did one of the most smoothest lines ever. I was like, yo, you look just like my ex-boyfriend, only hotter. Sealed the deal. And then we just started talking, and we were flirting, and we went to the rehab party afterwards. The next day, we kissed. Nothing else happened. He brought me back to his room, and we actually went back to back, our backs to each other, and pretended to do a long-distance phone call. Then I dropped him off at the airport. I drove back to Cali. He went back to Boston, and we called each other that night. And I'm like, hey, you feel the same way, right? Like, that wasn't just a alcoholic, crazy talk. He's like, no, I think I love you. I was like, I think I love you too. And
That's so sweet.
and so
I'm not jealous at all.
it'll happen. You got to wait for it.
Girl, I've been waiting years and
No,
years.
just keep waiting. I'm telling you, he's out there. He's out there. 2 weeks after I met him, it was his birthday. And here we are, madly in love. What the hell do you get somebody for their birthday? I brought a camera around with me in WeHo, every drag show. I went everywhere. And I showed him what my life was like in Hollywood.
That's a great idea.
And I gave him this gift, which
That's
we
a
later
great
played at our
idea.
wedding. But that's our relationship in a nutshell. Just from the minute I met him, just... You're getting sweaty. It's all right. He's going to come.
I am getting sweaty. I'm getting
Manifest
jealous, and
him.
I'm getting all excited. 10 years married. We've seen it on TV. We've seen your relationship on social media as well. It's very, very special. It's full of love. But we also know the reality relationships that we see on reality TV. And that is being on camera can definitely add a whole different level to that. What kind of conversations did you and Nathan have before doing the show going into it? Did you set any ground rules? Like,
Yeah, of course. So we watched season 12.
I was going to ask if you
So I watched the first beginning seasons. God, the best times of Jersey.
I love the flashbacks.
Right? Ugh.
I mean, I was an original like Manzo, like all of that.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I was in my
We're
apartment.
thick as thieves.
I
Like,
was in my
that's-
apartment in California, and I'm like, "Is that Caroline? What show is this?"
Right, because that's your
I
extended
called my
family.
stepsister. I'm like, "Is your aunt on a show?" And then Teresa is introduced to the world, and I watched the beginning seasons, and I'm like, "Oh my God, am I this crazy with my kids because I watched Teresa with her daughters?" Like, it has a big impact.
Yeah.
And then I stopped watching for a while because of life. Then I picked up on 12. Me and my husband did 12, and we'd be in bed, and I'm like, "You want to do this? Are you sure? This is crazy." And we had those conversations. We went into it tough together, and we came out the same way. The only thing that can affect our marriage right now, not even affect, our marriage is great, is me. Because there'll be some days where everything will be great, and then other days you get affected by the outside noise of the world. You know what I mean? You
That
could
pressure to always be on. It's like, I just want to be plugged.
always be
plugged out.
on, or you can do, I can literally go bring food to the homeless, and then I look up on my phone and it's, "You're the biggest piece of crap on the earth. I hate you." It's like, what? So you have to learn to separate that. I'm really trying to get
Yeah.
used to that. And
I don't think anybody ever gets.
you can't get
used to
used to that. You can't. But my husband's so good at always making me feel special and reeling that shit back in. So I think when you have a really strong foundation, you're good.
And it's also that he has to now share you because
He always shared me.
Like you're on a
Right.
media run.
Yeah.
The gays want to hang out with you. Everybody wants to hang out with you, and it's like, well, you're kind of busy now.
He's like, "Baby, go fly." He's got the kids this week, getting him off I know his life is hell right now, but I had just called him in the car, and he's like, "How you doing? How's your day?" And I'm like, "It's good." He's like, "I'm so proud of you." I'm like, "How are you?" He's like, "Great, babe. Everything's great." Meanwhile, there's an explosion going on. Something, The
washer's broken.
Yeah,
There's foam
something's going on.
everywhere.
But we did this together when we met, and I was out in California. He knew what my dreams were forever. And he was like, I think he bought actually How to Be a Manager for Dummies, like the day he got back from Boston. He's like, "I'm going to help you make all your dreams come true." So my success is our success.
I love that.
And this is our reward for all the hard work. Because he was right there with me. Every time someone said no, every door that was shut in my face, he picked me up off the floor and said, put the blinders on and go.
And that is unconditional love.
Yeah.
Sometimes you take a step back and you let somebody grow on their own.
Yeah.
Sometimes you put up with the pressures and you do handle the war zone. That's just part
He
of
deals
the
with the war
relationship.
zone. I am very difficult. I'm not going to lie. I am.
But who isn't
I
difficult,
know, I
though?
get it. But I'm like, I think I'm on another psychotic level of femaleness. I
But
don't
he also
know.
gets like all of this,
Yeah, he does.
I
That's
mean-
what he says. He's like, I was like, "Babe, when you look at me," he's like, "Oh my God, when I look at you," I'm like, "Okay, good, okay," So we're just really in love, and being in love doesn't always have to be on. When you really are in love, you take the bad because you know that the good is so good.
I love that you said that. Being in love doesn't mean candlelit dinners every night or
No.
sex 3 times a day. Sometimes love is like, I look like shit. Let's just sit and watch TV.
That's what we do all the time.
Yeah.
After the crazy day of like doing this stuff of being on, and then his businesses are booming. My husband is so successful, thank God. The kids will go to bed, and I'm like, "Babe, you want it?" He's like, "I'm good. I'm tired too, baby. Let's just go to bed." So it's really such a great relationship.
All right, little hot topic.
Okay.
We're going to have little hot topics. Take a sip. Should husbands get involved in their wives' drama? Are they protecting their wives or are they adding fuel to the fire?
That's such a good question. So when we did the last day of filming at the finale, right?
We don't have to get into details.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
I could tell you about what my husband and I kind of went through. So, and how different I am compared to my husband. When everything was going down, the arguing and the fighting, my husband, and it was kind of like this. Me, Margaret, Melissa were talking. My husband was right there in the corner, and he just stood there. And I'd be going, and I'd look at him, and he'd be like, like that, right? Just said, "I'm here." And I'm going, and we get in the car, and I'm like, "Babe, how'd you not do anything? How'd you not get involved?" He's like, "I didn't have to. You were fine, but I
Yeah.
wanted you to see me. I was right there. Me, I would have jumped in I would have jumped in like a cat, like meow, meow. But that's the difference, like between I guess the men and the women. They just know, like, okay, let them go, let them get it out, and it's really such a sick, demented thing because they're at the bar all drinking. We're over here killing each other, and they're all doing shots. I'm like,
I mean, there was a lot of drinking.
What?
Yeah.
I'm like, how you doing a shot? With
And as a gay
Marlon's
man, I
husband?
wouldn't know what group to go with because it's like I love to drink, but I love to fight.
You would be like in the middle, like.
Yeah.
Do you ever see that GIF where like a person standing behind the tree
Yo,
and like
that's
they're like
me.
this and like
That's
this is how
me.
involved I want to be in the drama.
Yeah, but then I'd shout out something real fast. Yeah, that I won't.
Listen,
say.
I would honestly get involved. My husband was really good. He kept quiet.
Let's just say when you watch the show, when you see the cast of women, you stick out for a variety of reasons, and I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
I'm a fan. So I want to play. You shared on your TikTok, and we'll just play it without the sound, and we'll talk over it. But a little bit of the recording of the promo. You know, I've always wondered how you turn and you like look fabulous, and the kids are great, and then you do your tagline.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
that. So play some of the behind the scenes, Tony. So I'm going to ask you, what made you say yes to doing Housewives? Look how cute!
This was the first time I actually muttered the words, "Wow, I feel like a housewife." Because
Well, I mean,
I never
all
felt
of it-
like one.
Well, and like all the elements are there, you know, and this is what fans love. This is
Right.
like it's real. There's no going back.
Right. I think I was in the dress. I think when I did the turnaround and I did this, I actually looked at my executive producer who was on the set and I was like, what the hell am I doing right now? Am I actually filming for the Housewives of New Jersey? And she was like, yeah, you are, girl. I was like, okay. You know, and that was a really cool day for me and my family. Because I didn't do anything like that before. That was the first promo thing we ever did.
Well, and let's just be honest. What the Housewives franchise, it's changed the face of reality TV. It's changed the face of TV. I also say it changes the face of showcasing women as business owners in control. You know, for once, the woman is the star and the guys are like, meh, you know, supporting characters. But what made you say yes? Knowing the show, you know.
Honestly, I really thought I could bring something different to the show. There were so many times I would watch these really successful, powerful, beautiful women, and I'm like, but that's it. They don't give anything else. They don't give anything more. And sometimes you don't have to have all the money and glam and name brands and this and that to really make a mark. I think some of the most influential and powerful reality stars may not have it all. We just love them for who they are. Perfect example, Big Ange.
Yes.
She goes down
Yes.
as my favorite reality star of all time. And it's because she was just herself.
So Bethany is one of my favorites.
Mine too.
Because the first few seasons, I mean, she was barely hanging on. Remember when she was like by herself at the grocery store with her samples? And look where she's gone. And she was put down by so many of the other housewives for a few seasons. Like, oh, she can't afford to do this, or like her product or whatever. And not like, jokes on them.
Yeah. So she is someone that I admire. She's the top 3 people that I would love to meet one day.
I could see you guys be besties.
I
could see you guys have
know.
a
Come
spin-off.
on, Bethany.
Come
I love
on.
her. I've messaged her for years. I want to mimic her success in my own way, but I look at someone like her and I want to learn from her.
Yeah.
And I respect her, and I'm very similar to her. So she that name was like, well, if you're going to do it, Bethany did it. And so and my production would tell me, you know, the first time we filmed Bethany, they call it the village. So when they come film you, they're off in a separate room. They're looking at everything on monitors. They said we had to film in Bethany's closet or her bathroom because her apartment was so small.
Yeah.
And for somebody like me, my house is beautiful, but it ain't no Jennifer Aideen's house. Maybe one day, but that's very intimidating to come onto a franchise where you don't feel like you can compete in certain areas.
So that's a question I have is how do you keep grounded in that? Because, and we've seen it, you know, we joked about like looking back at first seasons and people look totally different. The way that they dress is totally different. It's like, okay, competition. How do you stay grounded in that? Because I also think that's another reason why the fans love you so much is because you do stay grounded.
Right.
But it has to weigh in your mind like, okay, we're going to this person's house, they're wearing this and that. So how does one stay grounded? And I would love to know, being a part of the West Hollywood community, which every day it's like, oh God, I got to dress up. And, so how do you get through that?
I learned that I am enough, period. The clothes on my back don't matter. I had just said this today. The Amazon dress that Margaret wanted to ring around my neck was the highest clicked product that I ever posted on social media. I am so proud that I can have a fan watch that show and say, oh my God, she's just like me. Or, oh my God, I want to be friends with her. And I could be relatable to some people. That's always been my goal in everything that I do on social media.
So I want to talk about labels. I was raised by my grandma to always look your best. Mm-hmm. So that meant when I was 5, 7 years old, I would wear a suit on the plane. I wore a tie to Disneyland. And it wasn't like, oh, let's pretend that we're rich. It's that I have so much respect for myself that I'm going to dress up, and I have respect for you that I'm dressing up for you too. Who cares if the suit was from JCPenney or anything? It was about your image and what made you feel good and what showed respect for yourself and others. Yep. I don't understand what the fascination is with spending gobs of money on a label when it's just like it's clothes.
100%.
Isn't it kind of dumb to spend so much money on something you're just going to wear with this? I'm like, no.
100%. And we can't wear it again. If we're photographed in it, we can't wear it again.
So I don't understand where it's smarter to spend that on a stupid label.
It is nothing to do with that.
Maybe sometimes doesn't look as good as an Amazon essential.
It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the social status that comes along with being able to spend that money.
It's just so silly.
It's very silly. Very silly. Rich
does not buy fabulosity.
Right.
Rich does not buy happiness, although I'd probably be a little bit happier.
You know what? It might a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Like, if I had a lot of money, I wouldn't be stressed all the time trying to make a lot of money.
But it challenges you to do more.
Yes. Right.
Work harder.
Work harder. So that's my 30s. Hopefully in my 40s, we're on the yacht. We could be doing the show on the yacht.
I'm going to be coming to visit. Jen and I will be flying in our helicopter.
In your suit.
And Bethany will be with us. Oh. Like, we're going to see this bitch. I'm like, yes.
Yes, that'd be amazing.
Amazing.
Let's manifest that.
Done.
Hell yeah, it's happening.
Okay.
It's happening.
And I do have to say, when it's Housewives' first season, usually it takes a couple of episodes for them to warm up. And I noticed, I was like, okay, let's wait for Danielle. Let's wait. And here you are. You are so comfortable in your confessionals. You are so comfortable walking into the room and you're like, here I am. Here's my family. There was no timidity at all.
No, it was only
But it's a whole different kind of show than what you've done before.
Yes, but being myself is what I'm great at.
But you were so good.
Thank you. It is not. It's not my first rodeo, and I think I am nothing like a lot of the housewives in this franchise. So when people are like, "Take a chill pill. Why are you going here and doing these appearances?" It's like, no, wait a second. You don't understand. This has been going on for 15 years. It's just now I have people that actually want to come see me. Because in my head, I've been doing this for 15 years.
It's part of being a businesswoman.
Yes.
And a reality TV personality. This is what you do.
This is what I do. If you're smart.
If you're smart. Mm-hmm. But the fans have to like you. You can't just be like,
right,
I put out
100%.
this vodka and people are like, I don't care.
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
What do you want viewers to walk away watching the show? What do you want them to get from you? What do you want your viewers to feel from your season?
So that's a good question, because it's like, I want people to like me on Housewives, and then I want them to come see my life every day on my social media, and I want them to see me as me, and just be like, okay, I want to hear what she has to say. I want to know what she likes. I want to learn from her. I want to learn from her.
And what I love is we've seen your evolution from social media, which again, if we're talking about Bethany, from your early Instagram stories and product reviews, which I think are so adorable.
Yeah.
I know some of the other girls were like, like, you're jealous because you can't edit.
No, I can't edit. I know.
You can't log into your phone. We know the truth, but boop.
I know. Yeah,
but we've seen that evolution with you, and I love that.
Thank you. That was my world before Housewives. Before Housewives, I was like, this kid Ryan's toys here can make $2 million a year.
From unwrapping a goddamn toy.
Okay. Yes. COVID hit. I stopped working at my horrible job, and I'm like, Ryan's mom, who yells at the camera, is making how much money? I said, let me just start recording myself. And some of my videos are so cringy that I can't even watch them.
I can't, because I love them.
But it was an evolution of a micro-influencer in a way, and I have roots, baby. So now the roots are sprouting into beautiful trees. I guess God had a plan.
And like during COVID, you didn't just sit there and be like, okay, well, I guess I'll wait for this to pass and see what happens.
No.
You're like, okay, I'm going to learn this. I'm going to do it on my own for me.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I learned everything. How to do a Facebook ad, how to boost a post. What's white boosting? What's this?
Yeah.
I sat there and taught myself
Sink or
everything.
swim.
100%. Sink or swim.
And you didn't just have to pay somebody else to do it. It's like, no, this is your machine.
No, but you know what I learned? I started to. And then when I started to, I'm like, I could do it way better than them. And I just did it myself.
Yeah. How do you think you've grown the most from doing the show?
Oh, I'm not going to let people affect me the way that they did. And I didn't look at Housewives as a job. So, right, you come in your first year, I lost money doing the show. I didn't make the money.
Yep.
No one knew who I was. When we would do all castings, I would be the one that they'd ask to take the photo. So I had no fame, fortune, or anything. For me, it wasn't a job. It was real life.
And people don't understand. You have to pay for your hair. You have to pay for, like...
I took a class to teach myself how to do makeup because I couldn't afford it. Yeah,
I love that.
I'm like, wait, how much? I'm good. So for me, it was very real. When you get a big salary and you got to turn up.
Yeah,
it's a totally different playing field. So next year, I think I'll still be myself 1,000%, but I'm not going to let them crush my soul like they did.
Well, and again, I love the positive aspect because I know a lot of people have said that Housewives, as the franchise has had season after season, city after city, that's become very misogynistic because we're focusing on the women fighting. But again, that's entertainment. I'm sorry, I watched the show for that. I love the snappy one-liners. I love a lot of what you did.
Yeah.
But then again, we see the business ownership. So what was the inspiration for bougie mama, bougie kids? You're like, you know what? I'm just going to sit and finally do this.
So I have been doing Bougie Kids. Bougie Kids, this was our 5th year in business.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So for me, it was just putting what I do every single day on camera and filming it and showcasing it. And from the show, it's growing in beautiful ways now. And I'm trying my hardest to make the best of it. Like I have goals for Bougie Kids. One day I'd love to sell it. Like Skinny Girl, hello.
My God,
and I have major goals for Bougie Kids, and I know this platform and this show is such a blessing for that, right? And
it's accessible, by the way, too.
Yes, very.
I could be a bougie kid. Somebody down the street, somebody in Ohio could be a bougie kid.
Yes,
like it's
prices
accessible.
are super affordable.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, to sell kids clothes for $200. Who's gonna do that? I don't even want to do that. I don't care if I made $1 million. I still wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Kids spill crap. They're animals. But that's my goal is to do big things with the company and make it less intimidating for the woman watching to say, like, you could do it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's my goal.
Why is it so hard for women to support women? I ask this of the gays all the time. Why is it so difficult?
They're not happy with themselves and they compare. Why her, not me? And it's so funny you asked that because I just watched a really great Netflix special on Conor McGregor. And Conor McGregor's sitting on his $500 million yacht and all of his boys are on the boat with him. And he goes, I bring my boys here and there's 2 types of people. The people that are going to sit here, look at me walk around in my Versace pants and get inspired by it and want to learn from it. Then there's the other one that's going to look at me and talk crap and be angry and be mad and say, why him? They're going to stay exactly where they are. Those people that want to learn, those are the ones you want to gravitate towards, and those are the ones that are going to go to the next level. And I think in some women's lives, they're just so sad about their own life that they can't see another woman succeed. The why me instead of, hey, I love you. How'd you do that?
Yeah.
How'd you do that? Like, if I ever got the chance to sit with Bethany, I'd be like, all right, so wait, what'd you do? How'd you do it? And I think that's what sets apart the people that are super successful. It's compared to the ones that just sit there and talk the shit in the corner and stay exactly where they are in life.
Where's your talk show? I mean, this is like motivational. This is good.
It shouldn't work. It shouldn't work one day. We can't go too hard the first year. People are going to hate me right out the gate. Let's give it some time.
And sometimes when somebody's doing well, you can just say congratulations, and that's all you need to do.
Would that kill somebody to do that, right?
What's the difference?
Be happy for other people's success.
Yeah.
Because karma comes back around. Good things happen to good people. And you got to work for it. Hello?
You better work, bitch.
Better work, bitch.
A big theme in your life is family that we've talked about. I do want to talk about the need for family in our lives from another perspective. People always quote, blood is thicker than water. The reality is the quote is actually, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, meaning that the chosen bonds are more significant than the bonds with family or water of the womb. I want to share from my perspective. In our family, we had a huge falling out. It was many, many years of just awful situation. And so my mom and I took ourselves out of it. And we said, you know what, we value ourselves enough that we don't need to deal with this battle, family, and make every holiday, every week filled with such anger. Mm-hmm. But anybody from the outside is like, well, it's family. You got to do family. And my perspective is like, but your chosen family can be there for you in a way that family. Why is it just because family is family that we have to put up with stuff and demean ourselves and devalue ourselves?
You don't.
Say it louder.
You don't. You do not. Take it from me. I had the big Italian family. Everything that you would think of got ripped away. And it trickled into more parts of the family. I don't have a lot of what I had. Yep. But God was good in a way that he sent me 6 beautiful women, and we are the best of friends. And your chosen family it's fine. It's okay. Don't put that stress on yourself.
Yes.
You put the stress on yourself. I do it. Like, but the Sunday dinners, but the Christmases. You know what we did this year? Christmas, we had it the day before. Santa came the day before, and we flew out. We went away on vacation to
new memories.
On Christmas Day. My kids they didn't know any different. And it was good for us. Yeah. It was good for the soul.
Mental health.
Do you mourn your family?
In a way, because it was what I grew up with, and it was that constant. But now we have new memories, and we're happy. Mm-hmm. We're happy spending the time with people that we want, and we don't have to placate to this idea of just because family's family. No, family is friends. Family is that. That's what a family is. You have to prove yourself to be my family.
Right.
The same way I have to prove myself to be your family.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie and say it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
I probably should go talk to someone. I'm not going to lie. Okay? But...
And the time might come or it might not, but it doesn't make you any, like, a terrible person.
No. You have to protect your core. For me, my core is my husband and my 2 children. Right. So once outside noise starts affecting how I am towards them, you got to question it. Do I want to be in my brother's life, my family's life? Do I want everything to be the way it was? Duh. But it's just not in the cards. So am I going to sit here and put myself down over it? No. I want to be able to go and do things with my family and not have to say, well, why isn't he here?
And I love that you said that, because I think that's such an important aspect. You know, what we hear on all reality shows is family, family, family. It's like, okay, not if it's damaging to me or my family.
Right. We're not alone. Do you know how many families have reached out to me and they go through the same thing?
100%.
We are not alone. Yeah. So, find your happiness where however that may look.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, you too. I know that's not easy.
No, it's not easy. And it's like, we need to have this conversation more.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we're not going to put up with certain stuff. We're just not.
Yep.
Because I'm better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We have so many questions. Are you a shit stirrer?
No. God, no. A shit stirrer? No. No, I'm being honest. I'm not a shit stirrer at all. I really wanted... Are you talking about the conversation?
I'm not talking about anything from the show.
Oh, I'm not a shit stirrer.
I'm just saying in general, are you a shit stirrer?
Oh, God.
Could be a product. I don't know.
No.
Bougie shit stirring glitter.
No. And this is why I said I'm a terrible housewife. I wanted no part of the shit stirring. I don't know how I carried the shit stirring for the whole freaking season, but I didn't want any part of it.
But I think it's that also, it's like people just want to draw you back into like the negativity.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, but your personality rises above that.
Yeah.
Is there an aspect of your life that you wish the show would have showcased more?
My family. I think my family interactions with the children and my business too and all that stuff. That's fun. I hope we do more of that. And I think fans want to see more of that too.
So, just in my small circle of friends saying, guess who I'm talking to today? They're like, oh, she's the one that's going to outlast everybody.
Is that what they say?
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Well,
girl, your story's just beginning.
I don't know if I could do it. I tell Teresa, how'd you do this for 13 years? I mean, whew.
Poor Teresa. She's been through it.
Poor Teresa.
Every season, I'm like, oh my God, again, girl.
She deserves everything that she has in her life right now with that man, with their children. She deserves it.
And again, I think this was also a theme, is that there's always sides to every story. And it's like, just don't get involved if you don't have to, or don't say something if you just don't know what.
Yeah.
So with all of these plans that you have, and now with this foundation, now with your fan base, where do you know where to go next in terms of priority? The idea for the book and the talk show and this, and your business is thriving.
That keeps me up at night. That drives me mad. No, that drives me mad. Because there's so much that I want to do. And it's been in my head for years. I think baby steps. Yeah. Baby steps. Little by little, we'll do things, add things to the plate and see how it works. But I want to do it smart. I just don't jump into things. You got to be smart. Bougie Kids has a new line coming out. I could put it out right now. I could show you all over the Instagram. But why would I do that? I want to make it a big thing. Yeah. A new launch. It's got to be amazing. And everything I do has to be perfect. So you put the work in and eventually it will all pay off.
And that's a smart business. I think so many people push out the product, do this.
Right.
It's like, well, not if it's shit.
Right.
Because it's not going to last.
Right. 100%. 100%.
Okay, finally, we need to hear your Irish accent.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Oh, wow. Hold on. Time out. Can you do that again?
Yeah.
Okay. No. Shh.
I'm telling you, one of my favorite parts.
Okay. Yeah. Shh. And scene. Hello, Alexander. I need a tip of the drink in the morning. You overserved me. No, that's not it. Damn. Wait. Tip of the morning to you. No.
Top of the morning.
Oh, it's top of the morning.
Well, it depends.
Damn.
It depends who you wake up next to, I guess.
Damn.
Tip of the morning. You better write that down as a T-shirt. Tip of the morning.
Tip of the morning.
With a little leprechaun or,
And Paulie, I talk to Paulie all the time. I should know this. Do you curse on this podcast?
You can do whatever you want.
My favorite line is, he calls me the Bouge. He goes, Bouge, fuck 'em all. That's what he says. Fuck.
I'm guessing a lot of your Hollywood auditions were not accent driven.
You want to know something? No one even knew my name out here. They just called me New York. I would show up to auditions with my telephone, with my remote control. And I would do the auditions with my remote control. My accent, they loved it. I was light years ahead of everybody out here in Hollywood, all right? Light years ahead.
I'm not even joking. I had my Pinot Grigio, and I'm watching your Irish accent, and I just psh.
Yeah, I tried. We all
so
tried.
Charming,
it's
yeah.
not good. Voiceovers, not in the cards. Not in the cards.
Our apology to the country of Ireland.
Wait, I did a voiceover once out here over Dolly Parton. Oh my God, I have to find this footage. It was over Dolly Parton's face. And it was for some show. Surreal Life? God. I don't even know. Whatever.
That's crazy.
I know.
I cannot thank you because I know you've had this whirlwind media tour. I cannot thank you enough for spending time with us. What a joy to meet you face to face and realize
Honestly,
that you are you.
This was one of the best interviews I have ever done. Ever.
Well, I tell you,
just
your girl brings
that.
in the best.
This was super cool.
Because I think we get to know you.
Yes.
And that's what it is.
Nice.
It's like,
nice.
You couldn't be asked the same questions over and over and over, which I know you have. Yeah.
Which team are you on? It's like, oh, God.
But thank you for being so open and inspiring, and on the show too. You are an inspiration to many for many different reasons, and I cannot wait to see what's next.
Thank you so much.
And I can't wait to come visit you on your yacht in a few years.
Yeah, and I'll have
a
helicopter. We'll have
a taco bar. Well, I mean, the whole thing.
Oh yeah, happening.
Yeah. Where do you want people to find and follow you the most?
So Instagram, Danielle Cabral official. And I'm not very good on the tickety-tock, but you can follow me there. I think it's at the Bougie Mama. But Instagram is where you can see a lot more of me every day.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. That was really another fun episode.
That was great.
I love it. It's always a grab bag of fun here. A big thank you. And you can watch Real Housewives, by the way, on Peacock. You can binge it, rewatch it, which I highly recommend, just for the Irish accent.
Oh, God. Thank you for tuning in today. That's British.
Oh my God, that is so hilarious. A big thank you to Mosaic PR. A big thank you to Tony, our engineer, and our social media clip editor, Alexis Mendez. Please like, share, subscribe so we can bring the show to you for free. Until next time, stay happy, stay healthy, stay sexy, and if you drink, stay tipsy. We'll see you next week.
This has been another episode of On the Rocks. Tweet me and slide into my DMs on Twitter and Instagram at On the Rocks On Air. Find everything On the Rocks for free at ontherocksradioshow.com. Subscribe, like, review, and share. Until next week, stay fabulous.